picture of?
Pocahontas?
Yes, this is a picture of Pocahontas. And here's another picture of Pocahontas. She was a Native American princess. Now, do you know where Pocahontas lived?
In Virginia?
Yeah, and this is the map, little bitty map of the state of Virginia. And we live in the state of Virginia just like Pocahontas did. And this is a picture of her father, the Chief Powhatan. And Pocahontas made friends with the settlers at Jamestown. And here's all of the settlers and Pocahontas. And did you know that Pocahontas was a helper to the settlers at Jamestown?
No, I did not.
And here's Pocahontas getting married to John Ross. And when Pocahontas married John Ross, she left Virginia and sailed to England on a ship. There's Pocahontas, John Ross, and the ship, Freedom. She changed her name to Lady Rebecca. Now, which one is the real Pocahontas? This is the real Pocahontas. And now I'm going to read you this story about Pocahontas. Pocahontas was the daughter of Powhatan, an important chief of the Indians who lived in the Virginia region. And her name means playful or mischievous one. Pocahontas is most famous for formally saving the life of English Captain John Smith. She died at the age of 22. Pocahontas tried to promote peace between the Powhatans and the English colonists. She converted to Christianity and married John Ross, a Jamestown colonist, a union which helped bring the two groups together. Her untimely death in England hurt the chance for continued peace in Virginia between the Indians and the colonists. We'll do that in a minute. And then here's a map where the eastern woodland Indians were. Here's the plains, and here's the southwest. Alright, now I'm going to, and then I have a coloring sheet that you can do when you get your crayons out, and it's a picture of Pocahontas. Alright, now I'm going to ask you some questions. Where did the Powhatan Indians live?
In states of Virginia.
Yeah, and where? What state?
United?
Virginia. What kind of Indian homes did the Powhatans live in?
In log houses?
Yeah, they lived in log houses. What kind of clothing did the Indians wear?
Deer.
Yeah, what did the women wear? Did you know that the women wore knee-length fringe skirts? And the Powhatans didn't wear long headdresses. They wore beaded headbands with a feather or two in the back. And they painted their faces and bodies with different colors and designs for different occasions, and often wore tattoos. And both the men and the women wore their hair long, but the men kept theirs shorter on the right side than on the left. And what kind of transportation did they have? They didn't have cars. What did they have?
Walking?
And they had canoes. They used, they made canoes out of large trees. And they were farming people. The Powhatan Indians were farming people. The women planted and harvested corn, squash, and beans. The men hunted for deer, turkeys, small game, and they went fishing. And they had soup, cornbread, and stew. And we eat a lot of that still today. And they had tomahawks and wooden war clubs for tools, and that's pretty neat. And they also had bows and arrows. Now, let's see here. What type of religion did the Powhatans have? Religion was too complicated and culturally sensitive to describe appropriately, and we strongly want to avoid misleading anybody. Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions. What was the most common plant in Virginia at this time?
Corn.
Yeah, corn. And what was the weather like in Virginia?
Humid and harsh, cold winters.
Yeah, okay. And let's look at the map. Where's Virginia at on that map? Do you know where Virginia's at? Yeah, that's where the Indians live. Some of the crops they grow were what? What did I say?
Corn and squash.
Okay. What kind of tools did they use?
Which one comes to
Bows, arrows. And who was Pocahontas' father's name?
Chief Powhatan.
Yeah. And she was married to who?
John Radford.
Ross, yes. Very good. See what she done here. Let's look at this. Another. Who was the farmers?
The women.
The women, yeah. The women were the farmers and the men hunting the fish. So now things are different. And why might they needed weapons or tools? What would they needed them for?
To hunt and fish and help them survive.
Yeah, because they didn't. It wasn't like it is today. They didn't go to Walmart to buy things. They had to plant and hunt and fish to get their survival. Okay. Let's look at the water sources that were available to the Powhatans. It's the ocean, the Chesapeake Bay, and rivers. And Virginia is located on the ocean, and there are many rivers the Powhatan were able to fish for their food. Rivers could also be used for transportation and for trade.
I would like